night, just as it appeared that the Republican governor was about to compromise with the 14 Senate Democrats who remain across state lines, state Republicans have just used a new legislative procedure to pass the governor's union-busting bill without any Democrats present. The vote was 18-1, with one Republican voting no and all 14 Democrats recorded as not voting. NBC's John Yang has been covering the story and is live in Chicago. John, how did the Republicans vote on this without the Democrats being back in the state to have the quorum we thought they needed in order to vote on this?
Well, Lawrence, you said it. This is an interesting parliamentary tactic. I'm not clear exactly how this fits into the rules of the Wisconsin legislature, because what they did, they all did this within the past hour. The Senate Republicans created a conference committee, a House-Senate conference committee, which usually, as you know, reconciles differing versions of bills, one passed by the House, one passed by the Senate. They created this conference committee without ever having passed the bill itself. They took the legislation that the House passed, split it into two. One, a fiscal package, one, a non-fiscal package, even though they've said this is all to do with the budget. And they put the collective bargaining language, the language stripping public service unions in Wisconsin of collective bargaining rights, in the non-fiscal package, reported it to the Senate, and then voted on it in the Senate. The State Assembly, the State House, the lower chamber of the House, it will be in session tomorrow in special session, in which they're expected to pass it. And, of course, the Senate was able to pass this because for non-fiscal measures, they need a smaller quorum than they do for fiscal measures. For fiscal measures, they would have needed at least one Democrat to be present. But by declaring this a non-fiscal measure, they were able to vote on it without any Democrats being present. Democrats are up in arms. They say this was illegal. They say this violated the rules of the chamber. They're asking the Attorney General to get involved. The Attorney General, by the way, a Republican. But we'll have to see where that goes, because this is on track for it to pass the Assembly, the House, the lower chamber tomorrow, and go to the governor's desk for his signature.
John, how much did this take the Senate Democrats by surprise? They obviously had been in negotiations with the governor, as we discovered through the governor's emails that had become public in the last 48 hours or so. It looked last night that, as you read those emails, that they were actually very, very close to a possible negotiated settlement of this. And as they appeared to be closer than ever to a negotiated settlement, suddenly we have this breaking in exactly the other direction. Were the Democrats completely taken by surprise by this, or did they feel overnight some of this might be coming?
Well, they were taken by surprise. They were actually meeting as the Senate Conference Committee met, as the House Senate Conference Committee met, and as it went to the floor. They were meeting trying to figure out what to do tonight. They had indications that the Senate Republicans, when they were going to vote with this smaller quorum, were going to let some of their more vulnerable members vote no. And so they were actually, some of them, they were split. Some of them said, well, let's go back. Let's force them to make more of their members, their politically vulnerable members, vote yes. They were hoping that would make it an issue in the next election. Others were saying, no, that's what they want us to do. They want us to go back, to create a quorum, and say and then pass the whole bill, the fiscal and non-fiscal. So they were debating this as all this was going on. There was a bit of a divide. They felt that they always had wavering members who wanted to go back. I think that there were some members whose resolve was cracking, as it were, about denying the quorum. And I think that crack really split wide open tonight. But as it turned out, they didn't need the Democrats, even the one or two Democrats who might have gone back, to go back at all. We have a statement just issued by Senator Mark Miller, the Democrat, saying in 30 minutes, 18 senators undid 50 years of civil rights in Wisconsin. Their disrespect for the people of Wisconsin and their rights is an outrage that will never be forgotten. Tonight, 18 Senate Republicans conspired to take government away from the people. Tomorrow, we will join the people of Wisconsin in taking back their government. John, that sounds to me at the end like tomorrow we will return
to Wisconsin. But it also sounds like the statement of a senator who believes this fight is now lost.
It seems to be. I mean, they're making legal arguments. They're saying the action tonight was illegal. It was counter to the rules of the legislature, but I don't know where that's going to take them. The vote, the assembly is poised to vote, give it final passage, send it to the governor. I do think that they probably will now return, as the statement you just read really does sound like they're going to go back and join the fight, but it is the fight after the battle is over. The battle in the Senate is over, appears to be over, with this 18-1 vote tonight.
John Yang, thank you for untangling this breaking news for us.